right. Hello, everybody. Hey! Yo! I'm not sure if anyone saw that last minute. I, I, I picked the wrong scene. There's, I guess there's some little technical background stuff that's going on. I have, like, 2 buttons for each scene. That being, like, two people on camera, 3 people on camera. And then there's, like, one above that is to do a whole sequence of like playing the intro, and I just pressed the one that just swapped over to our display here. But we're good. We're in here. See, am I missing anything? I think we're good. Mark, are you there? Hello.
Really?
Perfect. Alrighty, we'll begin with the intro. So hey guys, how's it going? My name is Justin. And you're watching and or listening to episode 446 of DangIT Prodcast. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a crazy week. Shout out to Ibrahim in the chat, by the way. How you doing, Ibrahim? Mark, how you been?
Been alright. How you been?
I'm doing good. All things considered, like when you reflect on like everything that's happened this past week, it's crazy. But this morning has been just kind of okay because so last night I decided to do another like TikTok stream on top of like the stream that I usually do here, where I was playing Fire Emblem like Engage. But on TikTok I was doing the raids for Greninja because they just started again this weekend. It's the last time you'll be able to like fight against Greninja for the foreseeable future until they announce it later. And I pretty much wrapped up at around like 12 something, close to 1. And it's one of those moments where it's like old me would be like, all right, let's go eat something now. Let's get Cane's or something like that. because they close at 3 a.m. And I'm like, I still got a rebellious phase in me.
I got one left in me.
I still got one left in me. But then I felt tired. I was like, oh no.
I felt tired.
Oh no, I'm getting old now.
The way you said that, but I started to feel tired.
I'm tired. So I knocked out instead. So I woke up pretty like late this morning. Well, not like late, but I was able to do my usual rounds this weekend of just shopping, window browsing, what have you. I got a couple of pickups here, but we'll get to that in, I guess, just very shortly. But yeah, no. Aside from that, like this morning, this week has been kind of crazy. What was it? Obviously, we have the big thing, which is the Nintendo Direct. I think prior to that, I got like I got a package from my cousin. My cousin has been big on collecting Pokemon cards earlier than I have. So when I pretty much told him this kind of stuff, like around like Thanksgiving, just shortly after I started picking up like Silver Tempest, he was like, "Oh shoot, well I got a lot of cards. Like, do you want to talk about it?" And I'm like, "Yes, let's do it." So essentially, he's been someone where we trade cards to each other depending on like if we have this or we have that instead. So he had a spare like, I guess, Eevee collection for Pokemon Go. So this Eevee right here, you may not be able to see it too well because of the lights, but the Radiant cards are like the shiny Pokemon here, and I do like Eevee shiny. The pack came with like this, I think 6 booster packs for Go. I didn't really get too much out of that because I've already collected quite enough of that, but they also had like this player's mat, which has like a cool illustration of like the shiny Eevee with a very interesting like fantasy like background to it. So it was actually really nice. I might display it more when we do more card opening stuff, but that was great. Work's been okay. Not really much is happening. It's still pretty busy in the beginning of February, which is understandable. I don't have any news updates in regards to another thing I've been kind of hinting at, but we'll see. I'll let y'all know if there anything comes up about that, but yeah, no, can't really say too much. And yeah, that's kind of been everything that happens in the background of things. And I guess as far as the pickups, I did order a couple things. I started to actually, you know what? I think I might have to go pick it up like over here. But
You need to go pick up the pickups.
I gotta go pick up the pickups now. So I've been starting to like collect Shantae, right? Because it's been at Best Buy under like PlayStation 5 for like a while now, and I just figured like I should probably just, because the longer I hold off on like picking them up, the more likely it is that they're just gonna start like coming off the shelves now. So I started off just with getting 2, and then this week I'd pick another 2, and that would be like Shantae, like 7 Sirens, and then there's this one which is just regular Shantae, or Risky's Revenge. There's like one prior to this, and then there's one in between those 2 that I just got, and it's Pirate's Curse. But there's like, I think half genie, half hero type of thing. I forgot that. I think that's the title, but it wasn't on shelves, so I was like, so I checked. They're probably in stock. It's just not that day, so we'll see. Those are the only 4 that are available on PlayStation 5 right now. I guess the OG one, which is technically just a Game Boy title at that point. It's on Switch digitally. I could probably find it somewhere like online too, but yeah. There's that.
All of these.
And then there was a really good deal too, and I have another one that's coming up probably like on Monday, but this is what I got from like Best Buy as well later on. It was Pac-Man World Repack. It was like, this was on sale. Returnal was also on sale, so I'm happy just to have them at like a really good price. They had well, I'm really sad though, because it was sold out the moment I checked it out. It was Strangers of Paradise. I wanted to I wanted to add that to the collection.
Oh, at Final Fantasy.
Yeah, Strangers of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins. I still wanted to include my experience with Jack, but yeah, that sold out really quick. I think it was like, I'm trying to remember exactly how much it was. I think it might have been like 10, like $11. I was like, oh my god. It's too late. I don't know.
Where are you storing all of these?
There for now. You may not know it, but like, it's the shelves are deep enough so you can actually add a second layer to them. Obviously it overlaps with the other one, but that's gonna have to do for now. Yeah, we'll make one of these days. Like the Switch one's kind of a mess. You might even see some that are stacked above there between the gaps. Yeah, that's what's happening. As well as the overlap, like you'll see right here. These guys are up the forefront, but there's games in the back of those ones. So yeah, that's what's happening.
Okay.
I can make more space like down below here, but I'll play it by the ear. We'll see what happens. That's what's currently going on with that. Ugh, but man, dude, when I see other people's like collections, like on Twitter, for example, it's quite impressive, and that's just like one platform specifically. This is one guy. I'm pretty sure like he might have more like Switch games than like Phil does, and he has them down like, I think he has like 3 like stacks or sets of like shelving for those. It's just like, so it's just like it's just, oh my god, how do I describe it? It's just a wall of red. It's ridiculous, but
that's what I imagine Phil's gaming room being.
it's kind of like that, but like you're surrounded by different platforms. It keeps it pretty compact though. You can still walk around. So let's see. It'd be
And
really
those shelves. Those shelves are like there's compartments in those shelves.
We should like, I'm not sure if it's possible, but we should set up some kind of AR room for you, Mark. We should like do a full 3D like do a full 3D scan of everything, so you can like look around, you can zoom in.
Fucking Google Maps.
He does have like the Switch. He also had like a PlayStation corner over there. But right next to it is like Wii's and Wii U stuff, and then like in the back closest to his seat are like the old OG PlayStation 1. Then there's also Xbox, and then like even more retro stuff. He makes it work for sure. What's really impressive is just the amiibo layout. Like there's a little corner for it, but there's also the one that like kind of hangs on top. You'll never see it unless you like look up. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. I've also been picking up some more amiibo. I don't have space, and that's a problem. But I saw that well, actually, you know, that is starting to get closer to the topic of Nintendo. But yeah, there's another amiibo there that just got announced. I was like, God, all right.
It's like, yeah.
Man, all right. Ooh, alrighty. I guess it's time to talk about like the big thing that happened like this past week, and that was the Nintendo Direct. A lot of folks early Monday were just like hitting up Twitter about like there's gonna be a Nintendo Direct, hashtag Nintendo Direct. And that's obviously because they are anticipating it. Like Nintendo does this like every year at this point. I even checked because what's interesting is that on YouTube, to do the blind reactions, I'll usually hop over to like the video link to it that's still in the waiting room. It's still being premiered, and I would just save that into the watch later like playlist that you're just given. And I have a tendency to just kind of keep things there, so I just checked there and I was like, oh, there's one for 2/8/2022, and then that was one for 2/9/2023. All right, so it's like it's like exactly a year. It's so wild. So yeah, no, I was able to watch that blind, even though they premiered it at like 2 p.m. this time, which is really interesting because they usually do it like very, very early. And you know, I'm not really complaining about that. It gives me time to just watch it and also like provide feedback on the same stream, because otherwise like I'll watch it like partway through and just like have to hop out or just simply hold off onto it until we watch it later. This was no exception. But you know, I know that Phil's not with us. He had a lot of things to say, of course, being like the biggest Nintendo fan like within our group. So much so that like I was trying to like capture all the things he wanted to say. We asked him like beforehand, because he couldn't make it to this podcast, what he thought about the direct, and so much so that I didn't have time.
Please tell me we're gonna do it in the TTS voice like I was hoping.
What? Okay, I need to ask about that. What's the context of that? What is that?
TTS?
TTS, yes.
Text to speech?
Oh, okay. I don't have that. Can I do that like real quick then?
Eh.
Is that like something like I'm thinking like Google Translate that, put the same English to English. Did you have anything else in mind for that? Because I've never done something like that before.
I mean, with a quick Google search, I've already found several options.
Yeah, I mean we could do that. It'll be like it'll be like he's actually here. Let's see.
Hold on. Let me see if this works.
Okay, all right. Also, Ibrahim was talking about how he has his best friend who got a voice changer. I was like, that's pretty great. I mean, we have voice mod. I have voice mod. I'm pretty sure Nye has it because he was changing his voice like during our meeting from last weekend, I believe, or maybe the week before that. But yeah. Also, congratulations to PewDiePie, well, Felix and Marcia. They're having a baby. Super exciting stuff. PewDiePie is, well, he's still really big. I just don't really see him a lot as far as YouTube stuff. Oh, okay. That kind of, all right. No, we can make that work.
You just gotta have the audio going. You'll hear it.
Okay.
Ready?
Oh, hold on. Don't. Let's get it. Sorry. Let me. I wonder if I'll be able to hear it from here, because if I try to like watch stream, it's gonna like mess up our like windows and everything like that.
Well, then here, have this.
Yeah, am I supposed to be hearing something?
No, hold on.
Oh, okay.
This.
I'm waiting. Cloud. Dude. Sorry. Hold on, I gotta be careful about copyright. Copyright's been.
You didn't hear any of that.
I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah.
So that means I have to I have to watch the stream, and that screws everything over.
Well, then, because look in the chat. I sent it to you.
Oh, okay. Sorry, even though I have two windows, like it's kind of hard to like keep tabs on everything here. Here, let me all right, here's to hoping that doesn't blow everyone's ears out. Give me a second.
And there's your text you need to put in for Phil.
Oh, okay. Which one do you recommend then, Phil? Or sorry, Mark.
I think the one that I picked for Phil specifically, I think I chose Eric.
Okay.
Oh wait, it wasn't Eric. Who was it?
Ah, son of a. All right.
It was Brandon. It was Brandon.
Okay. I see Brandon. Cool. So now I have to drag and drop. Okay. Alrighty.
And then you just click the play button once the text is in there.
Alright, he has Phil has like a general statement that he had, but he also wanted to talk about, well, you know what, I'll bring that up following this because I really want to hear this. This one he talks about like the NSO, the updates to it. So I mean, here we go. Also you could probably like, actually you could leave it there too. Alright, and give it a second.
There's a ton of games that they can give us using the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance apps. Now, it doesn't always have to be AN64 every month. It could be 2 Game Boy games or 1 an AN64 game, or 2 Genesis games and a NES and so forth. It overall adds amazing value to the service.
Okay. I got all of that. I listened. What?
I didn't hear a word. Or did you?
I didn't share it. I just
okay.
Yeah, but I'm guessing it's exactly how you heard it. It almost like when he says there's a ton of games. I thought you, Mark. Like, is that you, Mark?
Does that sound like me? What do you mean?
It does. Like there. It starts off with a certain like tone of yours. And just like there's a ton of games. Like when he like the way that he sounds it out, it's like that sounds like Mark for like a little when he has that tone.
Then it just sounds like Phil.
I'm not entirely sure about that. Like it doesn't sound quite like him. Because I don't know, just it's different though. I think we should submit our voices here. Actually, that's a bad idea. Don't do that. We already have AI that's somewhere to pick up on other like non-fictional characters, so be careful. But yeah, that was not bad. It was a little slow, but you know, I can appreciate that it tries to like enunciate everything. So yeah, no. So that was his that was Phil's take on NSO with Game Boy and Game Boy Color. Surprise! We've been having that like conversation about them needing to add Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, and they finally did it. They also came out with like a bunch of like games already available like the day of. I'd say my highlights for Game Boy would probably be just Kirby, of course. Game Boy Advance, they have a lot of good ones, but my favorite was definitely Minish Cap. I sped through quite a bit of that just to get to the first dungeon, and it's like, bruh, it really is just putting your like stuff on the big screen. And it's different from like having an HDMI adapter to your GameCube Game Boy player. It is different from that, where the resolution's like really sharp over there versus Game Boy player, which is it's totally acceptable. It's definitely better than just, you know, not having anything or like pointing your camera towards it. manually.
I do want to bring that up later, though. Thank you for reminding me, Abe.
Oh yes. I'm not sure you've heard a bit of me just kind of highlighting that kind of stuff too, but yeah, no. There's also a couple things that Phil wanted to add. It was just the general topics before he jumped into the games he wanted on the platform for NSO. But he was saying that Switch has a lot of promise this year. This is kind of me like paraphrasing it. Metroid. Oh, hold on. Yeah, Metroid Prime Remaster was a shadow dropped title. It was pretty strategic to have that be released, and then that might hold us over for a little bit until we have Tears of the Kingdom. However, there's some speedrunners out there. I like literally the day afterwards, someone tweeted like, "This is how Samus looks at the end." If you guys understand that, it's just pretty much like Samus takes off her helmet at the end. I think it also depends on like, it also depends on your percentage of completion and the time finished. But it shows her face. It's the non-anime look. It's definitely just like a remastered, remade look of her like from the game, because at that time they were just kind of going for like a certain style that wasn't like just anime specific influence. It was just kind of like a general like, this is the most like detailed face we can make at the time. So it's just a remake of that one, which means that that person really just sped through the game. It was crazy. Like the day afterward.
Absolute Chad.
We need folks like them. They're the ones that paved the way. But Phil was saying that he had a theory that Metroid Prime 2 and 3 will probably get released throughout the year, leading to Metroid Prime 4 next year. I feel like, yeah, they could do that, but I also feel like they might just kind of span it even farther out.
Just
Like,
drip feed until it's time.
Like they could like span it so it's like Metroid Prime 2 comes out like at the end of this year, and then 3 will be taking place next year, and then very end of 2024 would be Metroid Prime 4. But yeah, dude, I gotta like highlight the fact that like Metroid Prime 1 remastered looks insanely good. Like
Actually, they did a very good job remastering the graphics.
yeah, because it isn't just like a texture touch up where it's like, oh, here's some like samples from like high definition like things or real life like world places, like how people were modding Resident Evil 4 prior to like remake. No, this is like a full like remake. It's so good. Like you don't even know it's a GameCube game. You really wouldn't. It just looks like, I mean, I guess that's all how like it holds up too. Just like the core mechanics of Metroid Prime is just, yeah. It was
they did fix the fact that now you can just look where you want to and shoot where you want to, instead of just having to, you can actually look a different way.
Yeah.
Actually, now before you do whatever you looked at, where you're looking.
Yeah. No.
Basically, aiming and looking are the same button.
Yes. I know that they did some touch-ups. Like it wasn't the first time Metroid Prime has ever been like redone. They did like the Wii titles, like the Metroid Prime trilogy, which was like that was really cool because they implemented the Wii remote like motion control, which was great. And now the Switch is essentially that. So you have all these different ways of customizing how you interact or engage with the controls, like depending on what you want to go for. I obviously would want to have like a situation where I could just like obviously like look around with the right stick, but you can still like hold like the R trigger at that time and like look around too. Because I think it'd be an interesting idea to try to like approach it with like modern day controls and just like your approach to that, where you're not really trying to lock onto things. You probably should in this one, but just be able to do it the same way as you would like in a traditional like first person shooter. Because yeah, Metroid Prime, if I understand correctly, aside from like GoldenEye and other like first person shooters, it's the first like Nintendo IP that decides to do that. It's crazy. And the see it like how it is now, and I saw a little bit of Max playing through it. Yeah, no, it holds up extremely well, or rather it was just well done. What I don't know though is I guess I should probably check like the eShop about it, is if Retro Studios was directly involved in just doing the remake for this one, or was it done by somebody else. I'm pretty sure it was like with Retro Studios, because I'm pretty sure they have all those files in hand and they could just replace things here and there. Or it was like, it's probably a lot easier for them to work on it, but that could probably explain why it's been taking so long to get to Metroid Prime 4. They probably might have like another team or themselves just working on this and then the other games. But yeah, well, I'm going to ahead and verify that real quick if I can. It still has them like listed in the opening sequence of things. So it's like Retro Studios, and it's like, ooh, oh. Yeah, I'm just gonna give you a moment for that. Let's see. Also, yeah, he Phil was also saying that Game Boy, Game Boy Color. I'm sorry, right? They split it. It's Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and then Game Boy Advance. They greatly enhance the NSO's value by a short ton. And the possible games that could get added are pretty much endless now. I 100% fully agree on that. Game Boy and Game Boy Advance was an era that like I remember fondly, but I think because of how we were growing up, just having the platforms, we didn't get a lot of games on it. We mainly just got.
You used to get, like, it's because you used to get whatever games you got, and you just like, well, that's what I got.
Yeah, it pretty much was that. Like, we got like as a pair, we got 2 Game Boy Advances, myself and my brothers, and we got like the OG Game Boy Advance. We got Super Mario Land, that's the one with Yoshi. Sonic Advance, and that was kind of it. And I think we might have. I think my brother may have gotten like Street Fighter 3 Alpha. I think that's what it was. And that was it. That's all we got. Also still looking over here. Let's see if we have any tributes here. Actually, I don't really see it over here. I might have to like look further in. But, again, I'm gonna go get behind that in the sense that Retro Studios has really been working on all the Metroid Prime games, or at least I'm gonna assume at this point. But yeah, no. I had a couple of them here. I was just listing out like pretty vaguely. Right. So obviously, the big thing like they could add over there is Pokemon, which I think we kind of all agree they're probably saving it. They're probably. Yeah, I think they're gonna add it to Pokemon Presents because Pokemon Day is this month, at the end of the month. So they might be saving it for that. That's why we haven't heard anything about Pokemon Stadium for a little bit. Because when you have those 2 games, they can connect to each other, and if they can make it work with Pokemon Home, that's literally end all be all. This is how you get like the old school like generation games brought all the way over. So I'm looking forward to hearing any type of news about that. I was also thinking that they could also add some of the Sonic games too. I mean, they have our Sega Genesis, so I think there might be a pretty good buddy-buddy relationship to add like some of the Sega games as well. So pretty much Sonic Advance 1 through 3. Sonic Battle would be kind of great too. But I specifically focus on Sonic Advance because it has a connection to Sonic Adventure 2. Which then could possibly open that up later, but that's farther out. Like obviously they dropped like GameCube, I'd like absolutely lose it, but yeah, no, I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. But it'd be great. But yeah, there was a lot of good ones. I remember that there's like a Digimon Game Boy Advance game. I think 2 of them, and it was Spirit something. It was essentially like it was their fighter game as well.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I really loved that one. I'm trying to think of some other ones. And I mean, Advance Wars was originally on Game Boy Advance too. Oh yeah, speaking of which, yeah, they did drop that. That's coming out in April. So no available now, but it's pretty much like the whole year in which they had a whole delay on that. So it's good that they were finally able to follow through with that one. Oh yeah, I totally forgot too. Like Golden Sun is one of the listed games in the future to be released, along with like Fire Emblem. I saw Kirby Amazing Mirror, which is great. Metroid Fusion's also shown up as well. No Zero Mission yet though, but yeah, no, those are games actually. Like I dug up my 3DS and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, the Ambassador program and everything. They had Minish Cap, they had Metroid Fusion. I played like I think I completed like Metroid Fusion there. And I was like, this is sick. So it's great that everyone's able to play it again. because that was such a limited thing that Nintendo was willing to do for those who like fully invested in like the Nintendo 3DS, which if you guys didn't know, early within its release had like this crazy price point to it. I think it was like somewhere around $400 for that thing. It was like, whoa. And then they finally calmed down. It's like, all right, here's 200 something. But I think if you actually, and I remember I wasn't even there. I wish I was, but I was a little too young for this. But I guess like my cousin actually went to Vegas because that was the only time that they actually had like certain 3DSs like showing up as that could be eligible for like the whole certification of authenticity or the ambassadors program thing. So yeah, it was close. But once you have that, you're able to transfer it over to other 3DS like platforms. So it's currently sitting on the last like line of 3DS models, which is like the new 3DS XL. So also shouts to Beefling. Hi Beefling, how's it going?
Beef.
But yeah, no, I think this was a solid direct. Like I think Phil kind of like says a lot like in his stuff, but my highlights
everything.
Yeah, I noticed that about Phil. He likes to get to the nitty gritty of things. Yeah, like I think that's just part of his character, but I think it would work really well in just like informative podcast stuff, which is why I think it'd be a great idea to like do something solo, like as far as like some kind of podcast like that. But we could talk about that like later because that's part of something. Yeah, so obviously my highlights were also the NSO, Metroid Prime Remaster following after that with a Shadow Drop, which is crazy. Tears of the Kingdom was also a big one, and of course Pikmin 4 as well, which was actually the first thing they showed. I like they talked about it last time with Pikmin 4 that it was going to be like, instead of like the top down like RTS like feels like type of vibe, they went with like a camera angle that I guess you can also change into, where you're a little bit more to the ground and you're looking in their perspective at their level, and I think that just kind of helps with the immersion of stuff. Beefling's asking what games are you going to be playing next stream. Well, I'm still going through Fire Emblem. I was gonna say Three Houses. Engage. I've been really loving just like how they go through the gameplay loop of that. After that, this is a really good question. I think I might need to like go focus back on Pokemon. I realize it's been quite a while since I've done any Pokemon content over there, and there's still quite a bit to do over there. But otherwise,
with Justin Trust, it'll be an RPG. That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know, really, because you know, aside from like some like special ones, like say like a Splatfest or something like that, which I think is happening this weekend, I believe, if not RIP. But I think, yeah, I kind of wanted to focus Twitch like with RPGs like in mind. The closer I can kind of find myself in a niche type of thing, the easier it would be to kind of like set a brand for myself. Because like you can be like Phil, you can love just everything under the sun. You can find all these different passions, but you know, when you try to find audience of people who might specifically, oh god, what the, did you hear that? Mark, did you hear that? Oh my god, dude, that freaked me out. I was like, oh my god, I got taken over. See, Mark, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Speaking of which,
it just sounded like someone opening a soda can. Like,
it does sound like that, but I was just talking. Oh no, that's me turning off Google Assistants over there just to make sure. That didn't get picked up. Siri did. Guys, I was just speaking, and then Siri says
words that are way too close to what his devices register.
Yeah, Siri just said, "Here's what I found," and I was like, "Oh my god!"
You must have said something at the point that sounded like Siri.
Ball by like it's hey, and then this is so and so.
It's kind of like you use the word okay a ton, and so naturally,
it's true. It's very true.
Remotely, like the GOOGLE, it goes off.
You're right about that. Beefingly asking about Hogwarts. I think that's a super interesting game. I would like to try that out, but not this time. I got other things I gotta do.
It's a very popular game. It's popular to play, popular to hate. Let's just pick your teams.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think we talked.
I could care less.
It's true. Honestly, again, just play what you want. I know that there's definitely debates and issues, and there's also hate raids too showing up for just that. I get it. Like, I get it. Do what you gotta do, though.
People, chill the fuck out. Don't hate raid.
That's why I also subscribe for. Just don't do that. Play it or I unfollow, Beefling said. Oh, well, alright. Well, it was nice knowing you, Beefling. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the times that you ask about what you...
It technically is an RPG.
Ooh, Angie, you're right, you're right. I've been getting a lot of, like, feeds on TikTok about, like, a certain professor in the school, and it's like, oh god, people are thirsting right now.
People are getting down bad.
But, like, I get it.
You're like, I get it.
I get it. It's just a game about everyone just doing avacadabra, and then also the other half is just them like fawning over this character as part of the internet.
There's literally a video for so many streamers of them freaking out when they got put into their house.
Oh, cool! That's actually kind of hyped to hear. It'd be cool to see where I end up.
I have no idea what my house is.
I think I did a quiz like a while back. It was when you whatever Hogwarts like website. I think it's Pottermore. I remember that. I always think of Paramore when I say that, but I think it was the other two houses. It was either Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw. I forget which one it was. I think I was Ravenclaw. Yeah, I think I was.
Sense.
Yeah, I think I was Ravenclaw for that one. I am kind of sad now I think about it. Yeah, obviously Harry Potter like focuses in on just Harry's story, so you don't really see the other houses unless like they get featured there for as a character association type of thing. But yeah, that world is pretty like immense, and I think that's the whole reason why Hogwarts Legacy is a thing. But I did hear that there were some really good reviews for it though, so that's good to hear. Although I hear like the other side of the argument saying like it almost feels like some like reviews have a lot to say but can't really say it. So I'm like, that's a little sus. What's going on there? But then I'm like, I got other things to worry about. Let's see. So got that free that I got the TTS still over there.
Well, it's just the fact of it's a very big win. I mean, if you play this game, it makes you this and that, and I'm just like, no, it really doesn't.
Yeah, like I think ultimately the mindset would have to be just like you can like this, but you don't have to like this person associated with it, because I think the idea is that when you have this idea and you put it out there, it pretty much becomes its own entity that people can like have different takes on, and it doesn't have to solely bind to you. The only way you can control that is by keeping it to yourself.
And I mean, I don't even think there's necessarily a concrete stance on it, because there are people who are trans that are playing the game.
Yeah, because
and enjoying it.
Yeah, because the game is just the game, but of course,
it's just Harry Potter.
Right.
And that's why I say like, I guess some are taking a firmer stance, others are like, eh.
Yeah.
Which is natural because we're all people.
We're all people, and we can like what we like and follow what we believe in. So
we have different opinions, different thoughts, so we're going to have different takes on shit.
Yeah. But yeah, so definitely Hogwarts Legacy is a thing. I would pick it up, but it's like, well, it's $60 up front, and I got all these other things I got to worry about right now. So Beefling was saying it doesn't matter if it's the best game of the year. People are going to find a reason to hate on something, justifying a reason to hate on something.
He isn't wrong.
Isn't wrong about that, because people can be a little bit too like self-centric about like their ideals, and if you don't follow them like to a letter, or worse, if you find something that's you have a belief that's kind of in opposition of them, they feel hurt and they feel the need to be super
Because
defensive about that.
it's because they attach their ideal to their identity. So when you challenge their ideal, you're challenging their very identity itself, and that's obviously going to make them try to strike back at you because then you're challenging their existence to them.
Right. Even though it might have been something that's like, you know, it was just your opinion, bruh, and you know, all the power to you. But it's like they do feel like attacked for that. I get that. Sometimes like I'll naturally become like defensive about something.
I mean, we
But
all
it's
do.
like,
We'll
yeah.
all be defensive at certain things. It's like, hey,
Hey.
I can explain.
I, I can
I can
explain. But you know, as long as you can like, you have like a certain level like preservation for your own like identity, and also understand that like people have like a way of like kind of projecting like their own, not like intentionally onto somebody else, but simply just because, you know, that's just they just want to express themselves in a way. The better off you are as far as that. So what's this about putting the gun down, grandma? What the?
Why are we talking about my grandma watching football?
Listen to each their own, as long as you don't hurt anybody
You
with
think
it.
I'm joking?
But yeah, here I'm just gonna go do it real
No,
quick.
my grandmother is absolutely the person who would be watching football and go, break his leg! That's my grandma.
But it's just football.
She'll go, break his leg!
Break your leg, break them. Break your leg.
I was like, yep, that's grandmama.
But I think yeah. Oh yeah, you know what? If we're talking about like certain like arguments here and there,
Oh boy.
I wanted to talk about Tears of the Kingdom real quick. Obviously, like
There's arguments about Tears of the Kingdom?
there is, yeah. It's
What? Is
All
it
right.
about the dollars?
Well, not just that. Because yes, Tears of the Kingdom is $70. There's not really much of an explanation. Moreover, from according to what Phil said, it's going to be like a case by case basis as far as like what game like will have that. That's a whole different topic. But I wanted to touch up on this one real quick. That people have been bringing up to the table about Tears of the Kingdom. Obviously, like myself, Phil, yourself, Mark, we both like love it. Sephi also loves Tears of the Kingdom so far, and we're looking forward to the release in May. But some folks who are not so keen about like the game, will either just don't care about it, or also have just a thing to say about it, in the sense that the argument being, it just looks like Breath of the Wild, and there doesn't seem to be like any reason why. And this is kind of like their like perspective of it. There doesn't seem to be like a reason behind like the development like delay on, you know, Tears of the Kingdom, because it looks like it takes a lot of the same assets, as it probably should, as Breath of the Wild.
You're telling me the sequel to Breath of the Wild took assets from Breath of the Wild?
Well, yes, and that's totally normal, right? But I guess like the argument and the questioning is like, why did it take as long as it did, when that's kind of like, that's a lot of that taken care of, you know?
Because did you not hear? If they obviously didn't hear that Nintendo said that, hey, you know, this is the biggest game that's ever been on the Switch.
Well, and you know, I don't know if and this is my take now. I obviously we don't really know a lot about like Tears of the Kingdom, except for what they've just been showing as far as like trailers and whatnot. There hasn't been like any type of Tears of the Kingdom direct, or hasn't been any type of like gameplay overview, anything like that, or world overview. It's just been a lot of seeing Link in the sky a little bit, and then this trailer kind of focuses him on the ground with different enemies. But obviously, because it's linked to Breath of the Wild, it does have like that same like plot of land. And I'm personally curious as to how they change the terrain to make it different, but also what do they keep the same, you know?
Well, I mean,
Like what gets involved.
It's like, do you really get mad at a sequel for bringing back previous maps?
I mean, I
that,
wouldn't, but
like that I'm just saying, like, I guess to them, they're like, this is in the previous game. Why isn't there just a whole new open area? I was like,
Mhm.
because it takes place in the same world.
Right. I think that like people just want to kind of complain about it because like people we were just talking about it too, like people don't some people just don't really get that. Some people just want to hate to hate because it doesn't align with what they feel is like a really good game, for example, or what they're looking forward to. um I mean, this is just kind of like me trying to find all these different like perspectives and just bringing it up to the forefront. Obviously when I played Breath of the Wild 1, I was absolutely immersed. I wasn't even like streaming it. I would stream it later as like part of like the hero mode type of thing, but playing it for the first time, or master mode I think, playing it the first time was just like, it was something else because I had opportunities to just kind of go this way or go that way. I got to take things at my own pace, and it was a new console too, so it was like super cool to just kind of like realize that you're playing with Joy-Cons that can be like a full controller, or just be like played this way or that way or that way. So the entire experience was just so distinct and like engaging for me. So, and I think going into Tears of the Kingdom, I don't think it's going to be any less of that. It's going to be more like, oh, what's different now? And I'm just going to just go wherever I want. At least that's the idea.
I mean, it blows. I just find it funny because I mean, I've played several games where we head back to a locale that was in previous games,
Right.
and I wasn't upset.
Yeah, right? Because like it because I forget what the area is. It's for the Ritos, the bird people. First of all, that's a wonderful like town, village, what have you. Music is fantastic there too. So I'm really curious if they bring it back, is music gonna change? Is anything about like the subs different? Because the Divine Beast is chilling over there.
It's also the fact of you never know. It's like, hey, take this for example. They could have put in a new area for Breath of the Wild 2,
Mm-hmm.
aka Tears of the Kingdom. But what if it wasn't good? What if you're like, man, they should have just put in the old map? I guarantee you.
There's no.
People say no, we wouldn't say that. I'm like, I guarantee you, one person would have said that. One person absolutely would have said that.
Yeah, and there's no pleasing everybody. Some people like the consistency. Some people want to like branch out. Some people don't like it branching out too much, and some people will see it and be like, "Oh, I kind of wish we could just revert back. I wish we could turn back time." Yeah. Ultimately, it's just people got things to say, and we're at an age where people are a lot more vocal online. People can just do it with so much like anonymity, or I think that anonymity, that they can say whatever they want. And
They'll say it online. They won't say it in public.
This is true, which is why I think that there's still like a fair number of people. Obviously gaming culture is a big thing now versus it being kind of like not so well uplifted, I will say, back then. But people who were engaged in that kind of culture probably had things to say even back then, but now they have a platform to do so, multiple platforms to say it.
It didn't stop them back then, bro. You kidding me?
I'm pretty sure.
No.
I mean, like, you can give me an example of one. I just don't have anything right now, but
Xbox live chat, bro. That's all I gotta say.
I'm pretty sure. Obviously I've never been like part of like that, obviously.
Get ready to say I've never heard the N word used more times than on Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, people were wilding. I get it. It was just a different time. Also, actually, at the same time, like, people probably still do that now.
Oh no, they do.
Yeah, they'll do that. I think.
Except they're usually put even more on blast now.
Right. But I think it's ultimately for all the better, just to make sure that the environment's still good. I don't know if they still do it, but I'm pretty sure PlayStation still like keeps track of like those types of calls or like online plays, because I think they outright said that in a policy thing where it's like, oh hey, we're gonna, as part of like an update, we're gonna just be monitoring that kind of stuff specifically just to watch out for dangerous folks online.
I was
So
gonna say, hold up, are they like this PlayStation party might be monitored for quality assurance? Is that what I'm hearing?
yes, that's exactly what it is. So yeah, I think that's just how it is.
That low key would make me feel a little uncomfortable.
I mean, as it probably should, right?
Because that means I think I'm just in a party with a friend, but there's technically 3 of us.
There's technically it's party of 3. The other one's quality assurance.
There's some dude in the other end listening in, being like, "Puggers."
Yeah, like I don't even know if it. Yeah, obviously you. Honestly, like even if they were able to monitor it, like it would have to be something where it has to be some kind of AI that can pick up like certain like phrases and words, because otherwise there could be.
It was funnier, and it was still creepy, but it was a little bit funnier when it was just a person.
Yeah, obviously people have like better awareness of like contextual stuff. Some people don't, but
An AI is only as smart as you make it.
yeah.
AIs learn, but they only learn what you provide for them.
Be using a keyword type of thing, says Beefling. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Because if we had someone, just one individual, like monitor like a certain chat versus another one, I don't know that there's gonna be a lot of people who could do that and monitor all that. Each and every like call within the day on the weekends, they probably get super busy, right? But
it's also that if you actually want to block words like that, you'd have to type first, like for an example, you'd have to type out the N word, put that in there. You'd also have to type you also have to make sure that with all, if you just space out in between each letter, so they try to get past that way. Then you need to go to where they say like they say N and they say 1, and then they do like numbers to get away with that. No, they gotta block that too.
yeah, because at that point you're pretty much trying to pick up what YouTube's doing right now, as far as like just automatic reviews. Because there'll be individual who reviews it, but then obviously like somebody picks it up just to ease the process of so much like content filter of so many people like uploading to and streaming.
But it's also the fact of, I guess it technically could be easier to mute those words, because if you just look up, you could literally just look up a list of all the ways to type this word and just put that into an AI to block all the versions of that word. It could literally be that easy.
It could be that easy.
But I just don't. I don't know if maybe it's not that easy, and I'm just talking out of my ass, or maybe.
I mean,
that easy.
You make it sound easy, right? So I mean,
anyone can make it sound easy.
Yeah. you make a fire. You brush up wood to wood, fire.
You rub 2 sticks together.
Oh, like no, not that way. Oh, you mean like this? Don't touch me. You use don't touch me, okay? Oh my god. Oh yeah, the whole filtering and everything like that. Yeah, no. I was gonna say like, oh, you know what? I don't have to worry about that because I don't do that. And I was like, wait, I do content online, so I guess that's an eventuality at some point. If not now, later. I mean, actually, technically speaking, I did have that happen before. Yeah, it's always got to be the racial thing.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know exactly. Yeah. You know you were there.
You were both like, oh.
Usually just like, hey man, you didn't need to be like that. I'm gonna give you a chance. Then it's like, well, like, not too late.
It was like for context. It was I saw this edgy thing. It was like an old talk show. It was an edgy thing, and I sent it to Justin and a friend of ours. I didn't want to play it on stream because it's edgy. I knew it wasn't good. I was like, obviously it's bad, but it was kind of funny. So I showed it to them. They were like, oh yeah, that's kind of funny. And then like one of our friends goes, yeah, that one line. He says the word. We're like, no.
Oh, you know, I wasn't even thinking about that, but I know what you mean. I know it.
Which time were you thinking about?
I was thinking about this time I was doing a celebration for like 100 or 200 followers on Twitch, and I did just chatting. I was having some food, and then there was just one guy who was wilding out, saying some obviously racist like type of stuff. So I was like,
Towards who exactly?
but yeah, like I remember your one. Is it the one where it's like well, we were doing Sea of Thieves and we were just sailing, and then yeah. I got you.
That was the most one where I was like, oh.
Yeah, we were both like, oh.
Whoops.
Oh my god. You know, Xbox should probably be doing that too.
It's like there was that one guy Kai who he brought in that Russian girl and they're doing the Harry Potter thing.
Oh no, yeah, I saw that.
It's like,
yeah,
you can't really
it got quiet. Yeah, right.
You can't get mad at her. She's Russian, and you told her, and she doesn't speak English very well, and you told her repeat after you. She doesn't know the context of that word.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, she gets. I was like, I mean, I can't say she gets a pass, but I would be like, I'd at least consider the pass.
I would consider that she's excused for the time being. Just give her the verbal warning, and then also proceed to like verbal warning the rest of y'all.
What made me laugh was when Kai said on Black History Month though. She got a chuckle at me.
It's true.
He just looked at her on Black History Month though.
I almost
like, hey bro, you're the one who told her repeat.
Yeah, like this really isn't her fault at this point, unless she actually knew.
You set her up, my guy.
It's true. Yeah. Shoot, I'm sorry. What were we getting at? Oh yeah, it was like the whole Tears of the Kingdom thing. Yeah. It was weird. It's just one of those things where like I know a certain individual who wasn't looking forward to Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom as well, as far as that video and trailer and whatnot.
You know personally, or is this like a creator?
Nah, just a creator on Twitch. I'll tell you a little bit more about it. I'm not gonna try to like put any hate on him. He's obviously has his own like perspective on what he likes, gameplay wise, and I get it too, because it's one of those things where it's like,
you like what you like.
Yeah, because I think what people really want out of like a high production game is one where like the experience just feels so fresh, so new. But obviously you can't really do that with a sequel, right? But at the same time, like
they want the horse's balls get smaller in the cold.
I don't even understand what you mean by that.
You don't remember that? You don't remember that when they were showing off the footage of Red Dead 2 and all people could talk about was, dude, the horse's balls shrink in the cold.
Oh my god, I don't remember that. That's weird. That's a weird. Like, it's a nice touch of detail, but like.
So that's what they were saying. Look at how detailed this is. The horse's balls.
Now, listen. I don't think they're gonna have Link's
balls shrink in the cold.
I don't think they'll have Link's balls shrink in the cold and therefore give him less of a bump. But. People were wild. But yeah, I mean, obviously, like there's games like Horizon, like Forbidden West, and there's also Ragnarok, the God of War, the Ragnarok, where it's obviously like the stuff that they already have, and they're just kind of building up on that. They're just trying to add more finesse to it, and that's pretty much the same thing as Tears of the Kingdom. It's about. And you know, this probably goes into why it's $70. They probably are leaving out like so much more. There's so many things out of context here, and it could be one of those things where like the sky like above is its own area, and it's much more vast. And of course, there's still like the land of Hyrule, which has also been altered here and there. I saw that light show in the trailer. They made that tower lit up.
But tell me,
okay,
do his balls shrink in the cold?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you'll have to find out. Maybe that's a $70 deal. What if it's rated T instead?
Rated T. Rated T for testicles.
It's T for Tiny Balls Engine. Oh my god! But I'm really curious about like how, like, for me, like personally, it's gonna be a much more of a narrative like take on the series so far. But I also think that Breath of the Wild was also like narratively driven as well, in the sense that you didn't know what was going on. There's a whole like story in the overworld, but you can choose to not engage in that, like, per se. You'll definitely kind of get introduced to that by just taking the main route, but obviously, like, there's a lot of storytelling in just what you see, environmental storytelling. And I think with Tears of the Kingdom, there might be a little bit of that more so, but it's also a thing of like, what's changing, what's happening, why is this happening? Obviously Link is like there with like a crazy hand and everything like that. We got like rehydrated Ganon over there,
Rehydrated.
and then we have Zelda. She might be dead. I don't know.
25%. I was making the joke in Phil's chat saying Zelda 25% thicker.
Oh no. I'm pretty sure it's only been like maybe a couple months since like the events.
Bro, you can do something like that in a couple months.
I mean, I guess she is walking around, you know. I think him and like Link and Zelda also like just like walk around, because that's their only mode of transportation aside from horses. So they probably got probably more fit. I think
maybe she was eating more and she gained a little weight.
this is all true. I think Zelda needs to walk. she's been in the same spot for like 100 years at this point. She needs to walk. And Link's been walking.
She also is a princess.
Yeah.
Technically a queen.
Technically a queen now. That's gonna be interesting too. She's gonna have to. She has a whole new perspective. In Breath of the Wild, she was really just like she was obviously the princess who had to do all this training. There was a lot of pressure on her, like by her father, to obtain these powers that she didn't have for a while. So she had an angsty period and threw that all on Link, and now they're good buddies now. But now she's a king and she's a queen now. So, that's a lot to unpack. And then she falls. It's gonna be I mean, hopefully she's okay. Hopefully she'll be just like a character that we'll continue to see, and she won't be in like one of those like kidnap like situations or stuck. So yeah, hopefully she'll be all right. Link's obviously gonna do okay, but he has a different arm now, so it's gonna be interesting. Like, his arm was messed up like during that trailer too. I was like, whoa. New bold approach for Link. And then the weapon still breaks. I think they'll still do that. I don't see why not. They shouldn't do that, especially with the Master Sword being what it is. I think durability is still going to be a thing. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We're actually hitting the hour. Mark, was there anything else you'd like to add to the topic about the direct? I think all in all, it's been a really good one. Very promising. Mark? Mark? Is someone there? I'm gonna go and pull up some other stuff here too. I didn't say this too. Sea of Stars was also like showcased like in the direct, not too like greatly expanded upon, but I'm just glad to see it there. It's really good. It also has a demo, so that Octopath Traveler 2 also has a demo. Kirby's coming out like near the end of the month, so that's also cool too. They showed like the epilogue, which is kind of like an interesting take on it, where it's like there's kind of a level up system too. So obviously, me being kind of interested in that, I'm like, okay, all right, I'm gonna make my dude like shoot like lasers, and I'll have a fun time doing so. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mark. Were you saying something?
No, I was just listening to you.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, I think yeah, it was a solid direct. It's hold me over for the rest of the week as far as like things to just talk about. But
It was very, very solid announcements.
oh, I guess we could talk about other things outside of the realm of gaming. I know that we follow like My Hero a lot, and we still post like our manga reads over on YouTube. There was a break, Mark, you were saying, for this week as well.
Yep, Horikoshi's on break due to his health.
Got you. That's understandable. And you know what? This is probably the best time to like take that break because they're at like this crazy like climax. So, for sure. And the crazy thing is that the anime is like it's starting the final act, which is what we're currently in. So,
Yep. Next season might be the last season.
it's going to be crazy. Like I'm surprised about like the pacing that they've been keeping up with.
Yeah, they're right on. They're getting pretty close.
Yeah, so
Yeah, they're in the I guess you call it the Dark Hero arc.
yeah. Yeah, something of like equivalent to that. Oh, uh, so I'm not sure if this was this past week. I might be remembering it for like the week prior. But Mark, have you been seeing people having any type of like things to talk about in regards to Demon Slayer? Because they had their theatrical release on the new season.
Yeah. Yeah, they've I've seen a little bit here and there. I haven't really seen any talks about it per se, but I've seen there's been a whole bunch of PVs. There's been a whole bunch of all of that.
Mhm.
I haven't watched any of them, but I've been seeing them around.
I've been seeing people like mainly on TikTok memeing how they do not like that new opening.
Oh, they don't like the new opening.
Yeah, they don't like that new opening. I think it's just a different vibe that just feels like more like something else. I have to really listen to that to really get a better idea. Oh, and sorry, I just reminded myself like, oh yeah, tell Mark about like the content creator about Legend of Zelda
Also,
afterwards.
did you quick side note? Did you see that
Hmm.
Hughes is having a baby?
Yes, I did see that. Congrats to him. Congrats to Marzia. Honestly, like that's just like stellar news because like PewDiePie is just he's been clean. He's been good. He's a great content creator on the platform, and it's nice to see some really good news.
Yeah,
Because
just yesterday I was watching him, Joey the Anime Man, and Sea Dog VA Connor. I was watching them. Watch a sumo match live. That was interesting.
oh really? Oh, I thought it was gonna be some kind of
Dude,
podcast of them just like kind of talking, and
well,
that just gets brought up.
like they did get him on Trash Taste,
Okay,
but like no, like dude, I got to see them just hang out and and watch a sumo match live. Dude, watching a sumo match live is wild.
I can only imagine. That sounds because I don't think I've ever really seen like anything of talks about that, but that sounds very exciting.
Like the best fight was the last one. The last one they went fucking in. I was like, damn, damn.
Hmm. Actually, sounds kind of cool.
Well, because it's like like it's not like punches or anything. It's like open
Yeah,
hand
yeah.
palm hit.
Palm hits and like trying to take down the opponent. It's like whoa,
And like you see that like at the end of it, they just go, they just go towards you. You see, bah, 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 like just trying to push each other out. I was like, holy shit,
man,
that had way more energy than like 90% of the other fights.
cool. I'm
But
thinking like E Honda. Let's go.
yeah, and I know there was a sumo anime. Like I didn't watch it,
Hmm.
but I remember there being one. It was like, and of course, because here's the thing, people don't realize it. You don't have to be fat to be a sumo.
You just have to be thick.
No, you could actually be a sumo even if you were like say anorexic. You could technically still
Oh,
participate in sumo.
okay. Well, that's good to
Like
hear.
it just, I think the reason they get big, if I remember reading about it correctly, is
Bigger foundation.
yeah, that and more mass
More.
going forward means
Ooh.
more power.
More momentum.
Yeah, so basically that's why like you see more mass and power going forward equals easier to knock your opponent out.
Nice.
But then again, I saw there was a smaller sumo and he outdid this fucking bigger dude. It was incredible to watch. I was like, damn, little man got it. Justin's like, well, damn, now I want to go watch a sumo match.
Well, I'm more curious about like their watch of that. You know.
Oh yeah, you can find it on Joey's second channel, Joey Bizinger.
Okay.
Like you
Because
can find it just like
I'm
I know
curious.
PewDiePie has a video about it too. He said going to watch sumo was interesting.
I bet. Now I'm curious about it too. Because
Yeah,
obviously,
'cause, man, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think it is the national sport of Japan.
so yeah, I'm curious now.
Let me check that. Is it? I think it is. Yeah,
Especially
it's sumo.
since my only representation of like Japan as far as sports has really been through like anime representation, and right now it's just going through like football / soccer.
What was the name of that sumo anime? I guess I know there was a sumo anime. I just never watched it. Hino
Mm,
Hinomaru Zumo. Hinomaru
hmm.
Zumo.
I'm trying.
Hinomaru Sumo. Because I remember seeing this anime around. Like I didn't watch it, but it's got a 7.56 on Mal.
I was gonna say, is Baki not sumo?
Baki is just fighting.
Okay, makes sense. Because thinking
I
like
say Baki is ay.
I was gonna say the only thing I really remember of Baki is like it could be like misremembered like events, but I remember there's one where it's like he like either him or another character is going in on another character, and he's saying it's in. And they make such a great theatric about it, and I'm over here
Bro,
like, bro, I don't need to like.
bro, Baki is next to JoJo is like some of the most meme worthy but wildest shit you will ever see. Like
Man.
when someone in real life is built like a Baki character, you do not fuck with that man. Baki characters are built different.
I understand.
Like that's what I said. Like say in the upcoming, that was my number one comment I said was in the upcoming Creator Clash, Harley and his WWE opponent. I'm like, bro, this shit better look like a Baki fight.
I'm curious. I'm curious about seeing like the highlights for that happening later on. But all right. Before
I know the highest rank you can get in sumo, I believe, is the Yokozuna.
Hmm,
That's like like the best sumo is the Yokozuna.
dope. Maybe we need to see more of that.
Yo, trip to Japan, sumo match?
No, they like no broadcast that, please.
They're on TV. I don't know if they stream it.
Yeah, it'd be great if they actually streamed it. It'd be well. I'm not
So you're
sure.
telling me I can go on Twitch and watch the Muscle Girl Bar in Japan. Which, speaking of which, go check them out because that's a lot of fun. Honestly, if you go to the Muscle Girl 88 thing in Japan, because the girls are very nice, they're very playful, they're very fun, and they're very sweet. Like actually very kind.
I mean, yeah, that's good.
It's honestly like it's an experience, really.
You're saying as if you've been.
I've been in the stream. I haven't been there myself, but I've been in the
Oh,
stream, and
okay.
honestly, in the stream, you do get to see what it's like in the bar, and it's a very nice atmosphere.
Okay.
It's very playful. The girls the girls are also the girls are all very playful, very fun, very nice, very frisky.
Hmm.
Oh, dude, the girls like to play around like that a little bit. Not
Fair.
like obviously
Obviously, they can't really be. They can't play. They
people
can't play. Go ahead.
do not make non-consensual moves towards these women. That is not allowed. No. But the girls do like to play. I've noticed the girls do like to mess around, saying those things and acting a little "Ooh." But that's
Oh,
just them.
oh.
That's just them messing around. They're playing around. They're not like they're just being nice.
They'll they'll tease you. They'll play around with you, but they won't play with your feelings.
Yeah, it's like, but they're very sweet when you talk to them. They're very nice. Like I always like anytime I've ever gone there, I always say thank you, ladies, for all your hard work. You guys are great, very sweet, very kind.
Is it like one of those things where like it's like all translated, or it's something like where
It's got
someone's
an
kind of
it's got an
oh
auto translate in chat, but a lot of the girls do speak somewhat English.
oh cool.
Like they're all really cool. I think they link their socials in there if you want to go follow them.
Oh, interesting. Okay, cool.
Or some of these girls are fucking yoked.
I mean, they gotta be. It's the muscle girl. They gotta be.
Dude, they're yoked. And dude, some of them are pretty as fuck.
Listen, you can be pretty and
It's
thick.
like no, dude, it is a combination of beauty and power.
Because beauty is power. Power is beauty. It's just a
And some
cycle.
and some of the most beautiful ones there, they're surprisingly single.
Yeah, you know, there's. I mean, obviously, it's also like Japanese culture over there. Like, what's valued, what
Yeah.
isn't,
Well,
too.
one of the like some of the girls there were saying like, because some of the men or like at least some of the other viewers who were like more often in there, they say like in Japan a lot of the you would think because in Western eyes, we see them, we're like, how are they single? That's what I was like, how are you girls single? You guys seem awesome. Like, very pretty, very
Hmm.
nice, very attractive. But in like I was like, how? And they say, well, in Japan there it's getting better, but there are still a lot of guys who still like to prefer the stereotypical view of a Japanese woman, like,
Yeah,
dainty and thin.
got you. Yeah, I
To where I'm
mean,
like, I mean, I kind of I can see that in the old school way, but I'm like in this new age, I'm all about the
I thought I heard a sniffle from you. I was like, quit,
I'm all about
right?
the thick.
Got you. I got you.
No, I mean like it's like I did like that I could actually see it on Twitch because I thought that's really cool. That shows you that you can experience that foreign aspect in that bar. Like
Hmm.
that bar, like I've never seen that bar in a video from some YouTubers, and I was like, oh, that's a lot of fun. It looks like I definitely would want to stop by there in Japan and just experience it. But like,
Hmm.
they they started a Twitch channel, and I was like, I woke up one day and I saw it. I was like, no shot, I've got to see this. And so I click on it. I had a good time.
So is it just kind of like a general like viewing of like how it's like, or is it like kind of like a FOV, like they're like guiding you through it?
It's kind of like it sits on like the bar, and you can see in front of you. But
Mhm.
one or two of the girls will usually come in front and talk to everybody when we see all the other performances.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, everyone always loves good. Everyone loves this dance they do called the gasolina because that's when they get up and they'll do it. They'll do a dance, and they can just be a silly dance or it could be a very provocative dance.
Uh-oh, I just got an idea.
So where it's
Not
like,
not the
hey
provocative
yo,
dance. Not the provocative dance.
to where we're sitting in chat. I'm just doing like thumbs up, hey yo. I'm just like good. I'm like I'm like good job, Maru, good job, Faku, good job, Fuka, good job.
I would say. Oh, sorry. No, I have my idea later,
Kawaii.
but we can. I'll talk about that like in our group later. But alrighty. I think that's everything. So, all right, we'll go ahead and wrap up. So,
We're ending on Japanese muscle bar.
I mean, I was good. I was good. I wasn't expecting like that type of like. I mean, Mark, did you have anything else you wanted to like add about it? I mean, I don't want to like cut it off immediately. I just thought that was a suitable
No,
end.
no, that just made me laugh. I was like, that's where we're ending it.
I mean, yeah, I guess I have no idea how
Hey,
we
yo,
end
no
up.
banner though.
I guess we did like chain it from like wrestling, and then it changed to PewDiePie. So there's the
It was
connection.
which is sumo in Japan in general, and then I was like, well, I did do so. Like, like I was just saying, like I think it'd be nice if they streamed sumo, like they
Just
streamed that,
like they stream like the Muscle Girl Cafe,
yeah, the bar, because I
the
was like, it
bar.
would be nice. It'd be nice if they did that because then you could experience that without having to necessarily like say if you can't travel, you could experience it
If
still.
if they did sumo, I would love to just have like the first person's perspective of an actual match. If anything,
Bro,
being the taller person.
seeing one of those big ass sumos get sent sailing off the ring and nearly into the crowd, I was like, oh shit. Because dude, what if this one went down the area he went down in? He was about an inch or two away from landing on some old Japanese ladies.
Yikes!
I was like, oh,
That's what makes it exciting. It makes you want to
bro,
go in person.
you see all that weight coming at you at once. You're like, oh shit.
It's equivalent to like that time that like Ed and Eddie's Jimmy became a sumo, and they were about to launch themselves into Japan.
Get right, okay, Eddie, because we are going to Japan. Ba ba da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba. Yeah, boom.
My God. But alrighty. We'll go ahead and wrap it up here. So thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in for this episode of DangIT Prodcast. It's been episode 446. My name is Justin.
Bye.
And thanks for watching, everybody. Hashtag bye, everybody.